Have you ever wondered what happens when the world's richest man throws the most expensive wedding on earth and the world doesn't clap? It protests? If stories like this fascinate you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the wild lives of the ultra-rich. When one of the richest men on earth decides to tie the knot, the world watches. But this time, the watching came with eye rolls, angry protests, and a digital storm of criticism. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon and a man worth over $200 billion, married former news anchor and media personality Lauren Sánchez in a Venetian celebration that some are calling the most extravagant wedding of the decade, and others are calling a slap in the face to everyday people. The Venice wedding had everything: a $500 million yacht, celebrities from Oprah to Kim Kardashian, and even royalty. But beyond the flashing cameras and designer gowns, the criticism was loud and clear. For many, this wasn't a fairy tale. It was a symbol of everything wrong with extreme wealth in the modern age. So what exactly did people find so offensive? Why is Lauren Sánchez facing a global backlash? And how did a private celebration become a public controversy? It starts with the sheer scale of the spectacle and the staggering disconnect it revealed. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez's wedding reportedly cost anywhere from $30 million to $56 million. That's not just a price tag, it's a provocation. Especially at a time when much of the world is battling inflation, housing crises, and job insecurity, the event turned Venice, a city already struggling with over-tourism, into a billionaire's playground. Locals watched as water taxis were flooded with celebrity guests, entire luxury hotels were booked out, and the city's daily rhythm was completely hijacked by global elites sipping champagne. While some defenders claimed the wedding helped local businesses, many Venetians disagreed. For them, this was yet another example of their city being sold to the highest bidder, with the wealthy using it as a stage, not a home. One protester's sign read, "No space for Bezos," summing up the growing frustration of residents pushed out by luxury tourism. At the center of it all was a woman who drew just as much attention and just as much fire. While Bezos has long been a public figure, Lauren Sánchez has become the face of this spectacle and the lightning rod for its criticism. Why? Because for many, she symbolizes the excess and showmanship of the ultra-wealthy. Sánchez reportedly wore as many as 27 designer outfits over the course of the wedding celebrations. Each gown seemed more lavish than the last, and every look was documented for the world to see. Dolce & Gabbana lace, Oscar de la Renta crystals, Rita Hayworth-inspired corsets. It wasn't just a wedding, it was a fashion exhibition. Critics say it felt less like a love story and more like a branding campaign, and it raised uncomfortable questions. When you're marrying one of the richest men alive, where's the line between celebration and showboating? And if the luxury didn't provoke people, the taste certainly did. It wasn't just the wedding size or price that drew criticism, it was also the style. Take the wedding invitation, for example. Designed with butterfly clip art and sparkly dragonflies, it was described by critics as looking like a teen's PowerPoint project from 1999. People expected class. What they got, many said, was kitsch. And then there's Sánchez's personal style. Her fashion choices, tight gowns, plunging necklines, towering heels, have been called everything from bold and confident to tacky and over the top. One critic labeled her wardrobe a full-blown apparel apocalypse. This isn't just about taste, it's about symbolism. For many, the style of the wedding reflected a deeper truth. All the money in the world can't buy elegance or humility. The extravagance also reignited criticism tied to Bezos's business empire and the people he left behind. The criticism of Bezos's wedding doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's tied to his role as the founder of Amazon, a company frequently accused of poor working conditions, union busting, and aggressive profit-seeking. Even the most generous wedding estimates, say $50 million, is barely a fraction of Bezos's net worth. But to the millions struggling across the globe, the message was clear. The rich don't just live differently, they live above the consequences. And while Bezos was transforming his public image, critics couldn't help but compare the two women at the center of his story. Perhaps one of the most consistent and personal comparisons critics make is between Lauren Sánchez and Bezos' ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott. Scott, a low-profile philanthropist, donated over $14 billion of her divorce settlement to charitable causes, often without press or fanfare. She's been praised for her humility, intellect, and refusal to turn her wealth into a personal brand. In contrast, Sánchez, media personality, former TV host, red carpet regular, is viewed by some as the opposite: showy, self-promoting, and fame-hungry. Unfair or not, this contrast fuels the narrative that Bezos traded down, from substance to spectacle. And for some, that says more about him than her. Of course, their entire relationship has been under scrutiny since the very beginning. Let's not forget, this fairy tale began with a tabloid scandal. In 2019, Sanchez's own brother leaked private, explicit texts between her and Bezos, at a time when both were married to other people. The media frenzy was enormous. Paparazzi, gossip columns, and online sleuths tore into the affair. And while some couples managed to move past scandal, this one never quite escaped it. Their public image, and especially Lauren's, has been haunted by whispers of opportunism, betrayal, and fame-seeking. Was it love, lust, a midlife crisis? Critics have asked it all. And the timing, combined with the way Sánchez quickly embraced her new spotlight, only added fuel to the fire. As the world watched her evolution, Sánchez tried to reshape her image, but not everyone was convinced. In recent years, Sánchez has attempted to rebrand herself as a role model, a trailblazer, even a feminist icon. She participated in an all-female spaceflight. She spoke publicly about supporting women in media and tech. She shared her past struggles with dyslexia, offering encouragement to others. But many didn't buy it. On social media, users accused her of leveraging feminist language for image building, not for real advocacy. Critics called the spaceflight a publicity stunt and dismissed her empowerment messages as hollow. The term fake feminist began popping up in headlines and hashtags. For many, Sanchez's glitzy fashion and billionaire lifestyle clashed with the seriousness and sacrifice associated with actual feminist leadership. But it wasn't just online where the backlash brewed. It spilled into the streets of Venice. As celebrities gathered in Venice for what some dubbed the wedding of the century, locals had a different phrase for it: a takeover. The backlash wasn't subtle. Protesters held up signs reading, "Kisses yes, Bezos no," and "No space for Bezos," mocking both the couple's romance and their spaceflight stunts. Activists flooded the streets and canals, calling out the blatant exploitation of Venice, a historic city already suffocating under the weight of cruise ships, tourism, and rising sea levels. At one point, protest organizers even floated the idea of blocking canals with inflatable crocodiles. Symbolic, yes, but it sent a loud message: Venice was not for sale. In the end, the couple's planners were forced to move part of the celebration away from the heart of the city. That's right, protests actually disrupted the wedding plans of one of the richest people on Earth. And that disruption, it was celebrated. And beyond the politics and protests, there was one more elephant in the room: the planet. Perhaps the most enduring criticism of the Bezos-Sánchez wedding is this: it's not just about two people. It's about what they represent. In a world where 60% of the population lives on less than $10 a day, watching a wedding with $2 million gift boxes and diamond rings larger than most people's rent is jarring, even infuriating. Lauren Sánchez, whether she likes it or not, has become a symbol, not just of wealth, but of the way that wealth behaves: loud, lavish, and often oblivious to the world outside its bubble. And Jeff Bezos? He's no longer just the Amazon guy. He's the man who could end hunger, but chose to throw a wedding on a sinking island instead. So, after all the yachts, dresses, and hashtags, we're left with one final question. Maybe Jeff and Lauren are genuinely in love. Maybe this wedding really was their dream come true. But the criticism, the mockery, the protests, the global backlash isn't about just two people saying "I do." It's about what their celebration says to the rest of us. That if you're rich enough, powerful enough, and insulated enough, you can live in a fantasy world. And the rest of us, We're just extras in the background of your yacht party. So what do you think? Was this the world's most glamorous love story? Or the most expensive PR show of all time? Let us know in the comments. We're listening.